Welcome to the other side of the studio. Join us for authentic stories, expert insights, and a fresh perspective on wellness to guide you through the nuances of life's transitions, reminding you that every shift, every change is an opportunity for growth. Rooted in the timeless teachings of Pilates, we journey through the 7 pillars of a well-balanced life: spiritual, emotional, physical, sleep health, nutrition, relationships, and financial balance. Are you ready to embrace transitions and live a conscious, strong life? Hosted by speaker, author, retreat guide, and founder of Conscious Strong, Lauren McLaughlin.
Welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Studio, where we talk about all things related to your health and well-being that helps you become your own medicine. So in today's episode, we're going to be covering another important, they're all important, but another pillar and module in the Conscious Strong Lifestyle Guidebook that is now available. And today's episode is about nutrition and control. Nutrition and control, an area that is so confusing today because of the many diets that we have out there, the new trend that's out there, the latest, nutrition drink that's out there, and we're all confused. What is the right thing for us to be eating and drinking? Because the news is all over the place. So I am here to hopefully diffuse some of that confusion so that you can start to trust yourself and find your way, your approach to your nutrition, because that is where it lies. And so I will always reference previous episodes because they are so important in helping you to get to this place of understanding what your nutritional needs are. So let's go back to our spiritual health, our emotional health, and our physical health. Those are key. Those are truly the foundation for you to start to read and establish what is the right nutrition plan for me. I strongly feel that we all as individuals have the ability to read what is good for us and what is not. That is just how we are arranged as human species, right? And now we're so sophisticated that we're able to tell. Maybe we get sick and maybe we don't feel well, but don't fall off the edge and say, oh my gosh, it's a disaster, I'm going to die. Just take that as saying, oh, my system didn't like that. That was a reaction. Obviously, we have to move within reason in that area. We don't want you to go try all of those poisonous mushrooms to test them all out. We are very complex, but yet sophisticated human beings. So we have the capacity to be able to understand, most of us do, what nutrition is right for us. Instead of going by the next trending book that tells you don't eat bread, now you can eat bread. Now you can eat an apple, but now don't eat an apple. So as all previous pillars, our spiritual health, our emotional health, and our physical health as our foundation builds us to, or leads us to, how we start to establish a really healthy relationship with our nutrition that supports our physical body, right? We need to have optimal nutrition to support all of our functioning organs, our brain being one. If we are nutritionally depleted, if we are dehydrated, we are not going to be functioning optimally. We've all been there likely. If you have been dehydrated, you are sluggish, you're not thinking clearly. If we do not nourish ourselves, we start to feel weak, maybe having a little low blood sugar. So this is leading into a lot of more of the nutrition side of it, but let's try to keep it as simple as we can. Because starting to establish this healthy relationship with our nutrition, that is really going back to the very first pillars or the philosophy that you are your own medicine. So that next trending book that's out, that one that is telling you that you can eat this and don't eat that, and let's now, take this approach and avoid this approach, that does not mean that it's the right approach for you. It does not at all. So all of those books that are out there and all of those diets that are out there, I am not saying that they're all bad. I am here speaking my opinion and my stand on nutrition. But we all have to have that awareness of who we are before we start to buy in to that next trending book, because we most likely are all looking for that really quick fix. And there is no quick fix. There's no quick fix to any of these pillars of health. There is no quick approach. It takes understanding who you are. So let's apply this to our nutrition. Our nutrition, as I like to look at it, is exploring your palate, exploring what it is that you like. So, here at Conscious Strong and in the guidebook that you can now purchase, there is not a quiz, but there is a questionnaire that helps you start to determine what it is that you like. And when you are aware of what you like and what your tendencies are, what your choices are, that awareness in itself is going to give you really all of the information that you need in order to start to establish a nutrition plan that supports you. So you may discover in that nutrition awareness that you do like sugar. What I would then ask, and we go deeper into that, is why do I like it? What does it do for me? Maybe it puts you in a happy mood, but then maybe you find yourself crashing. Again, it's always going back to awareness, as I shared in the previous episodes. So, as you start to establish in your nutrition health awareness of what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, and then you start to uncover, you go under the hood, you start asking yourself that question, why? It's a big part of our work here at Conscious Strong is that we ask why at a minimum of 7 times. And when it applies to your nutrition health, boy, will it help you uncover what is right for you, not based upon the next trending book or diet. Okay. Then we move over into the control aspect of this pillar. So we have control. Control. That means that we have the ability to manage our response. I'll just keep it simple like that. It gives you that ability to manage versus you being out of control and going and eating every donut and every hot dog and every whatever that is having your nutrition spiraling out of control. So, when we are exercising control in our life, and it's necessary, we must exercise control in all aspects of daily acts of living. When we relate this to our nutrition health, it is extremely important. So, by exercising control, and that usually means by stopping first, assessing the situation. That means assessing the plate in front of you or assessing the menu in front of you, stepping back before allowing your emotions to take over. That is when you're going to start to develop a healthy relationship with your nutrition, your diet. So, the number one thing that has walked through my doors as a movement practitioner for the past 20 years has been weight. Everyone comes to me saying, Lauren, I want to lose weight. Lauren, will this help me lose weight? Well, in order to lose weight, we must exercise self control. And this is going to go back once again to the previous pillars, the baseline, the foundation. That is spiritual health, emotional health, and physical health are key to establishing this self control with now your nutrition. Because now we're doing a dance with life outside of us. Our nutrition comes from outside of us, right? So, this is our first act of having to really reach for something that is going to be put inside of us, that is going to support this beautiful being that you are. And we must exercise this control, right? So, it means not obsessing over it. Obsessing over it, in my opinion, is going opposite, is going over the edge in a negative way as well. You can obsess over reading labels, but it's starting to build this relationship with how do I start to establish and read what is good for me, what is not, what I like, what I don't like, and then starting to exercise and maybe go out and practice this by going to a restaurant or going to the grocery store And anytime you pick something up, exercise control, whether you feel like this is going to support you best or not. And maybe it does mean you read the label to make sure it's not filled with added sugars. Added sugars are horrible for us. Number one, I mean, that is the biggest killer out there. You want to be able to exercise control by knowing, right? Knowing thyself and knowing what's going inside of you is really the first act to exercising control. And this takes time. It's just like anything. It's just like exercising your breath. It's like exercising your body. Now we're exercising this control in relationship to our food and what we are putting inside of us to feed us. So the first exercise that I would ask is that you just start to write down all the foods that you like, all the foods that you don't like, and then start to exercise by having a journal. So this will be the first exercise here that I'll be giving you is have a journal that you take with you. Stop and pause. If your goal is to lose weight, then be aware. Exercise this control. Write down in your book. Do you really need to buy what it is that you are picking up off the shelf or what you are ordering on the menu? Is that your best choice? Step back, pause, always pause, find your awareness, and usually you will find your answer. So there is a first exercise that I always give anyone is firstly determine what it is that you like in terms of food. What is it that you don't like? And then start to exercise your self-control, the control out in your landscape, your environment. That means going to the grocery store, going to a restaurant. And then being aware of what you are putting inside of you and then what's going on inside of you. Listen to yourself. Our body is very, very smart. Our brain is very, very smart, and it will tell you whether it likes it or not. And then just be okay with that. Wake up the next morning and say, whew, I feel bloated. That's okay. I know not to eat, the French fries that I decided to try yesterday. Be aware, be okay with that. Because what I have found is that what spirals people out of control is by starting to bring in those words, shame and guilt. And those will always lead you down the wrong path because they'll make you feel like you're beating yourself up. That'll make you start reaching for the next shiny object, that next book, thinking, oh, I better try this diet. Listen and trust yourself. That is self-control. So nutrition, health, self-control, major key player in how you function in everyday acts of living. So exercise them and exercise them well. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Other Side of the Studio, where we help guide you to becoming your own medicine.
Thanks for listening. This episode is complete. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to The Other Side of the Studio podcast wherever fine podcasts are available. For more info, visit ConsciousStrong.com to learn about classes, retreats, and more.